Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast.
Woo-hoo.
The
first one of 2026.
2026, yes.
2026.
Here we go. Cross our fingers.
Yes.
All right. So we are excited for a new year of new gear and
a new gear year, if you will.
Well, I opted to go with the new year of new gear because the other one was just it's low hanging fruit, Tony. That's why you picked it up.
Exactly.
We're going to have a good time tonight. We're talking with a person. And person, who are you?
My name is Jon Halverson.
Jon Halverson, what
my
do you
name
do?
gets read on the thing.
Yes, it does get read on the thing.
I read it.
Yes. And what might people know about you that you do?
I am a guitar player and a supporter of the show, and I've spent my career at a large microphone company making wireless microphones mostly.
Ah.
You mean like real big ones?
No, we try to make them small.
So large as well known.
Large company.
And can we name that company legally?
Legally? Yeah, it's up to you. You can name that company.
Go ahead. You work there.
Sure Microphones. Right?
Sure Microphones. Okay.
Sure you do.
Now, I want
Sure you can.
we want to make sure this is not a sanctioned.
No, I'm not officially sanctioned by legal. I'm not.
Yes. So stand down, HR department and legal department from Shure.
Yes.
We're going to topically dip our toe into a few things that we think are interesting right about now in
trade secrets and such. Yeah,
yes,
of course.
Trade secrets, lots of those.
All the cool new products that aren't released yet.
Yes. And just talk about some gear stuff and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Gonna have a good time tonight.
John, where are you calling from tonight?
I am in Chicago, about one block south of Niles, Illinois, where the headquarters of Shure Incorporated is.
Oh, wow.
That's handy.
Yeah, it's walking
They
distance.
moved right by your house.
No, the other way around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I live in North Edgebrook, which is on the north edge of Chicago.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Appropriately named.
Yes.
Appropriately named, yes.
Well, we are going to have a good time with our friend John. And I want to say, John, before we take a single step further, how truly grateful we are for your support of the show in all the ways that manifests itself. We could not do this without you.
I believe you are doing the Lord's work.
Which Lord?
Well, the Dark Lord.
Yes.
Lord of your choice.
Yes.
Insert Lord name here.
Yes. Anyways, so we're going to have a good time. And without further ado, a couple of announcements. We're coming up on our annual NAMM excursion.
Oh, I thought it was going to be our fundraiser drive.
Yeah, right. Yes.
If you support us now,
yes,
we'll give you these two tickets.
Kramer is waiting on the line to answer your call. No, we're going to be down there. I've already gotten quite a few messages like, hey, if you're going to be down there, we want to connect. And if you are a person who is going to be down there and would like to connect, we would love to
Tell
do
them
that.
where down there is.
Down there in Anaheim. And so
I would say that's over there, not
over
down there.
It isn't down there.
Well, it's a little bit down, but it's more over.
It is down and over.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you were in Northern California.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Anyways. We're
You're doing the wood wire and volts as well?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. We're excited about that. So, anything else that you have, Tony? I want to give you the opportunity.
I do not have any announcements.
Okay. A simple no would suffice. So, one thing I did want to share
I missed this over the last couple of weeks.
Me too. we have been discussing a lot of things that we want to do with the show this coming year. And I hope to share some of that stuff pretty soon. I've actually been in conversation with a handful of supporters as well. And you can find them on Patreon at patreon.com/Guitar Knobs.
Oh, yeah, I'm told.
Join the conversation, be part of all these good things.
Or giveaways.
Yes.
Giveaways?
We all
Did
love
someone
the
say
giveaways.
giveaways? Well,
no, I mean we're this is going to be a big year for us. I don't want to do this on every episode up until that point. But since this is the first one, this is officially going to be our 10th year.
oh, I forgot it was 10 years.
Yeah.
Whoa.
In April.
Congrats.
I think around April 13th or 16th. I got to double check.
And this is what, 452?
This
Wow.
episode, yes.
This episode,
So,
452. Wow.
Yeah, lots of great milestones, lots of things happening in the gear world, and we want to make sure that we are evolving as time goes on in the best way possible to foster this in a way that you find valuable.
I thought you said we were going to focus on drums from now on.
No. But
That's a
anyways,
different round.
yes, just want to throw that out there. Yeah, it should be really, really exciting.
I think so.
So, moving on, we want to find out what's going on in our music worlds this week.
Yes.
Tanya Blonsky is going to kick said thing off.
Yes, I am. Well, since we've been absent for a few weeks, I have had a bunch of stuff happen.
Whoa.
A bunch.
Do tell.
A bunch. I mean, a bunch of cool things. I'm going to start with a book that I picked up from our good friend Julien
Illuminati.
Boutoin. You remember Julien Boutoin?
Yes.
So he came out with, and I love
Another one.
a slipcover book. This is called Legendary Guitars, and it is full of guitar porn.
I think we're going to have to get him. Maybe we can get him back on to talk about this new book.
Yeah, I think he's got another one coming out too. But
Goodness sakes.
it's just it's a beautiful book.
I think he was hinting at this book the last time he was on.
He might have been, but it's. I mean, whenever it's a slipcover book, you know, it always.
Now, explain what a slipcover is in case people don't know.
So you have like a hardcover book,
Yes.
but then there is a three-sided or
Box. That's what it's called, yes.
a slip cover that goes. Then the book neatly
Yes.
fits inside. Did
Yes,
you hear
our
that?
friend Dave Hunter, that's the way he likes to do them, too.
Listen to this.
Wow.
That's the book going into the
Now,
slipcover.
That was stunning.
Impressive.
This is live
Wow,
podcasting
Tony.
at its finest.
Yes.
But anyhow, Julian, nice job.
The photography looks amazing.
It is, and it's a good sized book too. So it actually there's a lot of details and things, and some guitars that you might recognize, others that some famous guitars, and others that are just representative of those types of things. But
So it says legendary guitars, but what is what does that mean exactly?
Well, I think what he's trying to get at here is, there's of course all of the the usual suspects. Like here's a 60 Les Paul
milestone
standard.
guitars, might we say?
There's some old stuff. There's some new stuff. And what's kind of cool about it, he talks about. He gives a little brief history, players that would have used these instruments, and even where you might find these instruments on recorded types of things.
Yes.
My only critique.
You mean
is,
music?
Yeah. My only critique is he does there's an approximate resale value. And that's probably true of today, but 5 years or 10 years from now, who knows?
Yes.
But I guess it is kind of cool. And there's it's definitely worth picking up if you love.
How much is that book, Tony?
I think it lists for $50, $50 or
Nice
$60.
book, yeah.
And
It looks like a must-have if you are a guitar gear book collector.
yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
you know me, I've got a bunch of books, and there's stuff in here and beautiful photography.
You just need to pay for some online reading courses.
Well, I got past the
What's that?
Oh, well, this is another thing.
Another thing.
This just happened today. A good friend and customer of mine named Ron O'Keefe. He's up here in northern Ohio. Has one of the finest, maybe the best collection of Rickenbackers in the world.
Okay.
And this year he decided to put a calendar together of his guitars, all Rickenbackers. I've done a couple of projects for him for some restorations.
Is he friends with our other Rickenbacker friend?
I'm sure that Kenny knows Ron, because Ron is pretty well known in the Rickenbacker.
That's really
world.
cool. Nice little.
Yeah, so that was a nice little pleasant surprise. I sent him an email thanking him. And again, as I said, nothing like starting off the new year with some new guitar.
Yeah,
porn.
and you love Rickenbackers, so.
I do.
Yeah, very cool.
Well said, Todd.
He's got a lot of them.
And last but not least.
Okay, here we go.
And I can't believe that I did not know of this band before the last week or two. I was watching an interview with Chris Stamey from the DBs. For those of you who know, you know.
The DBs?
The DBs from New York.
What?
Late 70s, early 80s
Short
band.
for decibels?
Yes, stands for decibel.
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that band.
Okay. Well, anyhow, they were an early kind of weird pop band.
Okay.
From New York.
Okay.
But did some really cool stuff. Anyhow, Chris was talking about how he's back out on the road and he was touring with this band called the Lemon Twigs.
Lemon Twigs?
The Lemon Twigs.
Hey.
And so I said, okay, well, let me Google and all that stuff and YouTubed it. And their latest album, which came out last year, is kind of like the love child of the Beatles and Brian Wilson. It's incredible.
Really?
It's incredible. I mean, this last album was so up my alley that I was just saying, why didn't I know about these guys?
This is the Lemon Twigs?
The Lemon Twigs.
The Lemon Twigs.
And the album is called A Dream Is All We Know.
Okay.
But
that's a great album title.
Yeah, but if you go to YouTube, there are a couple of live video. Well, there's one extended concert from France, and so this is all that they're sailing up there in the high voice stuff. The live, it was perfect. It was absolutely stellar. And I mean, they're older now, but they started off when I think their first album came out in like 2015 or so.
Yep.
And I think one of the brothers was 16, the other was 18.
I'm not winking at you. I've got a twitch in my eye.
You got a twitch. you have a lemon twig in your eye. But anyhow, if you like power pop, if you like Beatles, if you like Brian Wilson, just you can pull that up.
That sounds cool.
But it's definitely worth it. And there's some good high quality videos too. The one from France is just, the concert is just so well done.
Okay.
And it's definitely worth watching.
Are they French?
No, they're from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Lemon Twigs.
The
All
Lemon
right.
Twigs. Yeah,
Sounds
I
good.
think they grew up on Long Island.
Outstanding.
So there you go. There's my tip of the week.
You've worked in three things in
Three
there.
things.
All right, John, how about you?
Nice. This week, wow, that's pretty boring. We didn't have practice, but in the last couple of weeks, I got to see my nephew for Christmas, and he received his first electric guitar. He was very excited, and so I got to be part of that. I didn't buy it for him, but got to be there. And
Please tell me it wasn't a black Strat with a white guard.
nope. I
What
talked
was
him
a
out
red
of the
Strat
Strat.
with a white
He was
guard?
originally looking at Strats, but then he was like, well, I'm playing like Metallica and Nirvana and stuff. I was like, maybe get a humbucker and a hardtail.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
he ended up getting PRS, SECE, whichever one.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not
black
like
satin.
7 years old then.
He's 12-ish.
That's
13? I don't know.
Those are great
Yeah.
guitars.
Yeah.
And they,
I was surprised.
Yeah. No,
like,
they're-
I said, hey, once you open it up, we'll take it downstairs, we'll set it up. And he handed it to me, and I looked at it, and I was like, huh? Everything is in good shape.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, those, and I think they're still being made in Korea. And the factory that makes them, they just churn out some really top-notch stuff. So that was, one of
I mean, the truss rod didn't even need to be adjusted.
Yeah.
It was like everything was dead on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when they come,
impressed.
when they come back into this country, they do a full setup and everything on them too, just to make sure everything is really well done. But yeah, that's I mean, that's
for that price.
Yeah.
Like it's really impressive.
That's the crazy part.
Wowzers.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got that, and then
Does he have an amp?
He did. He got the Champion 600.
Ah.
The little. It's like a 12-inch Champ Fender thing. It's got some different distortion models in it and some multi-effects built in, but just other than that, a pretty straightforward little single 12
Nice
combo amp.
Perfect.
And so that was a lot of fun.
Not
and then,
too shabby.
My son's band just got their first gig. His one of his three bands. One of three of.
Was he play bass?
No, he's playing guitar in a Doom outfit.
Okay.
Called Sank, and they just booked their first gig. So they've been working on material for a while, and so that's kind of fun to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of those Doom It To It stickers. I can send them.
Yeah. He's got a monster rig that is kind of fun to play with.
That's cool.
What's in that rig?
He bought a Mat Amp some time ago, like the 100-watt Mat Amp, MATAMP.
Oh, Mat Amp.
Mat Amp.
Mat Amp. Yes, that's
Mat Amp.
Because there's one called Mad Amp, and it's not this.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, gotcha.
And then through a 412 cabinet, and then he's got a Savtec 50-watt running through a 410, and then a couple of fuzz pedals chained together, and it makes quite the racket.
I'll bet it does.
So no Atlas cab or anything like that?
No, not yet.
Not yet, I see. Yes. But
it's got to get a bigger car first.
Cloak with hood or?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'm belaboring this.
Oh, yes.
Well.
Hey, Todd, what about you?
Well, thank you for asking. I got a little something in the mail. I got quite a few things in the mail. I think we all probably got a bunch of geary kind of things, but I thought I'd open this one. So this is from Copper Sound. Do you know what it is, Tony?
I don't.
That's really cool. He did a little 3D guitar knobs logo printed out, and not 3D, but 3D printing. Yeah.
Is it glow in the dark?
I don't think so. It's orange.
It's orange.
It's orange and black. But he was holding one up that he made for himself.
That's right.
In his latest promos when we were doing the giveaway things.
Nice.
And he was kind enough to send one our way.
Let me see that.
So that's really cool. Thank you so much, Alex.
Oh, that is way cool.
Yeah, that'll go right up here on the wall, right? And we'll figure out where that goes. Anyways, I thought that would be a fun thing to open up.
I love it.
And he was like, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" And I was like, "I haven't been in the state for 2 weeks, so I probably have, but."
You've been in a state of confusion.
I've been in a state of confusion, yes. I drove... Anyway, that's not important. And then also, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, we got this pedal in from Eavesdropper. And this is a really cool pedal. It's called Dr. Square. I did a little unboxing for it. But I don't think I've heard of... Tony...
I'm sorry.
Stop picking at it.
Just picking at it. I can't help myself.
This is modeling a cult classic pedal.
What pedal would that be?
I'm not going to say. You got to wait for the episode or go watch the thing. But I'm very excited, and I plugged it in, and it does sound really great. Pretty cool.
Love it.
So thank you to Eavesdropper for sending that, and we're going to have them on the show real soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all in all, I think we probably all got a bunch of cool stuff, this and that in the old stocking and under the tree and whatnot. And I'd love to hear what the rest of you guys got. So shoot me a DM on Instagram or send me a pic or whatever, a picture. I got a whole bunch of pics and stuff of the guitar gear stuff.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's what I got. Bada bit bop bow.
That sounds great.
What I didn't get, Tony, was a big sock full of
Tour Gear Design patch cables?
That's correct. But that's okay because I already have a lot.
Yes.
I'd welcome them, as should any of you.
Yes.
And if you didn't get a big sock full of Tour Gear Designs patch cables, it's okay.
Now, when you say
can go
a
get your
sock
own.
full,
a big sock full.
like a sock or a
Christmas sock, a decorative
stocking.
Christmas stocking. Yeah.
A stocking, a large stocking.
Your lucky Christmas sock. Yes, a stocking.
Was there an orange at the bottom of your Christmas sock this year?
No.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay.
But anyways, you can go to tourgeardesigns.com and load your cart up.
Load it up.
With all these delicious 2026 vintage patch cables. You just load your cart up with them.
Load them up.
You're going to go hit purchase, but don't worry. You got a moment. You're going to I thought you were there was a deal. There is.
There is a deal.
That's how you activate that. And when the window comes up that says put in your code, Tony, what are you going to put in?
I'm going to put in the guitar knobs, all lowercase, all one word.
Correct. And how much are you going to save on
I'm
your order?
going to currently save 15%.
That is a good percentage.
That is a nice percentage.
Yes, get it while it lasts. Thank you so much to Tour Gear for sponsoring our Four on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3.
Four on the floor.
All right, Jon Halverson. What is your Four on the Floor V2?
Four on the floor. Well, I'll start with probably the most important thing, which is going to be some kind of transparent overdrive, if you will. Right now I'm using a Timmy, like the mini one.
Yeah,
Timmy. And I really like that pedal.
Yeah.
And it's been on my board for quite a while now, and it's kind of a standard go-to. Follow that up with something a little bit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Of
you want to talk about the Timmy?
Those pedals, of that, all the pedals in and around that, why the Timmy?
Because I've gone through a few, and this one just feels good. It's got the right kinds of controls, and I like the way it sounds. But I've used Blues Breaker variants and things like that. But yeah, I like this one a lot. It just has the right. It's got the bass and treble controls, which helps dial it in a little bit better. And
nice.
Yeah.
Well,
but
you
transparent soft clipper.
You mentioned the Blues Breaker type pedal, and that's one of the. We got a bunch of Four on the Floors that we're going to be doing, and that's definitely one that we're going to cover sooner rather than later. Yeah. The Blues Breaker style pedals.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty Number classic. Number two, so I'd follow that up with something a little bit heavier. And right now I have this Bad Blood from Sketchy Sound.
Yeah.
Which is more of a hard clipper. And it's a 2-pedal thing, so it's got 2 different options, right? Like you can have 2 different gain settings and switch between. So 2 pedals for the price of 1. And I've been digging that. Yeah, it's kind of in that when you just need a little bit more, and they stack nice. Things can get a little bit crazy. So that's what's on there right now. For a long time, I had the Nobles ODR1 in there. But this one, just for the fun of it, I've been using this lately.
And you say you like it better.
It's just different.
Different. It's more different.
Yeah, sometimes you got to swap things out and try new things, right?
Well, I love that you are using a Sketchy Sound pedal. that's
I may have heard about it on this show.
yes,
So-
Yes.
make some great stuff, and we love
No, it's
supporting
great pedal.
the little builders. Okay, number 3.
Number 3, in front of those two is some kind of boost. And for the longest time, I've been using this little TC Spark
Oh yeah,
Mini, which is great. It just gives me maybe about 12 dBs of gain. And it's got the momentary switch, which is really slick. So you can turn it on or off with a tap. But if you press and hold the switch,
Yep.
when you let your foot off, then it shuts off again. So if you just want to like turn it on for a little bit, and then as soon as you lift your foot, it goes back off, which is pretty cool.
that is cool, because then you can, if you want to do like a real cool like bend
Yeah.
or some kind of little thing, extra flourish in the middle of your playing, you don't have to actually like click 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 click.
Or get it to feedback and howl and
Yeah.
then take it back.
I like that.
It's one of those features that I really appreciate about it, and then I always forget that it exists during gigs. Right.
Yeah. Now, have you ever
so-
used that behind your drives?
I have not, but I have a different pedal that I made for myself that I use for volume control after the pedals.
Okay.
But I made that pedal, so that doesn't count, right?
Well, I mean, you feel free to mention it. It'll be a 4.5.
Sure. So we talk about these three, and then that's really the crux of the pedal board. And then usually there's a tremolo, which I like to have. And right now I've got, was it Mr. Black Panatrem, which is another 2-button tremolo that it does regular tremolo or does harmonic tremolo, and you can kind of go in between the two, and it'll do stereo panning stuff because I've been known to play with stereo, so that's a lot of fun. And it has a one for on off, and then one button to switch between current settings and a favorite, so you can have two sounds
Aha.
coming out of that pedal. And that's a pretty cool tremolo pedal.
Yeah,
So
I
that
wasn't
would be the
actually
4.
familiar with that one.
And, we didn't want to talk about tuners. I love my Sonic Research tuner. Huge fan of tuners, and that one is an awesome tuner that doesn't get a lot of love, but should get more love.
Anyone in particular?
It's what is it called? Turbo tuner.
Turbo tuner, is it the full size or the mini?
This is the ST300. I'm craning my neck to read the number off of it,
Yes.
but it's like the normal size one.
Normal size one. Okay, yeah. So what do you love about that one? Yeah, I do like the readout, but
Yeah.
I asked you and then I
That's-
answered. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I love it too, Todd. I like strobe tuners, and it's just a classic strobe tuner, but it's got a nice bright LED readout, so you can still see it when you're outside in the sun.
Mm.
And
It looks pretty heavy duty. Or
Yeah.
It looks like
it's got kind of an industrial vibe to it,
yeah.
especially with the fixed red LED display like that. It's not super modern looking, but it's very
It
functional.
looks like a pro audio type piece of gear, not necessarily a
Uh-huh.
consumer piece of gear.
Yeah.
And you're like, yep, that's why I got it. That's what it is. It's for pros, man.
Industrial designer was not involved,
Yes. In the making.
and engineers and users were involved with the interface on that.
Did that replace you've had that for a long time, or
I've had it for quite a while. What else have I had? In
you can
there?
go to turbotuner.com, turbo-tuner.com for that one. I'm sure that's angering a lot of the fellas in the import tuner car world that website's taken. But there you go. Put that in your exhaust pipe and smoke it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's a good solid 4. And
it's a boring 4, but it's a functional 4.
Any 4 is not boring unless it's all tuners. Then that's a problem.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the thing that you do. We'll start off with this bit. That you referenced Shure. Mics. We've talked offline. We've talked before about this a little bit. You've been doing this all your life. Can you give us just a brief rundown of what you do and why you do it?
I would say it's a calling, Todd. No, I was born at a young age and grew up around some of this stuff and was kind of drawn to it. Got into playing in high school and bands and got into electronics and went to school for engineering. And
did you go to school for engineering to specifically do audio engineering or audio gear engineering, or was it?
What I really wanted to do was live sound production. Like I wanted to get into doing mixing bands and touring and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know how to do that. And I was from a small town. So I was like, well, let's move to a bigger town. And my folks were like, well, maybe you should go to school. So, okay. So I figured electrical engineering is probably the best thing to study. I was good at the maths, Todd.
Yes.
And
that's one up on me.
It's all right. It's all right. But I had an affinity for that stuff. And so I started studying electrical engineering. And then by the time I graduated, I realized I could just make this stuff rather than go use it. So my life kind of changed, the direction changed. I realized that, going out on the road touring with bands was probably not a great career choice for me. So I was a sound guy all through college and did it, even after I started at Shure for a decade or so, on the weekends and things like that, club sound but no riding around in buses or vans, except for the occasional one-off or something like that. But
no Cameron Crowe movie waiting to be told.
No, okay. Right. No. Once you get married and have a kid, that gets a lot harder to, do that kind of stuff and traveling like that. That's a lifestyle that you got to be built for, right? So yeah, when I was in college, towards the end, I went out to an AES show, Audio Engineering Society convention. Those used to be a lot bigger back when the recording industry was big money. And just brought my resumes and talked to every audio company that I could bend an ear at, right? And learned some things about that industry. Most audio companies are actually quite small. And
it is kind of shocking. I mean, it really is, because you think about this is a worldwide brand. I remember when we were talking to
there's 2 people that work there, right?
Yeah. I remember when we were talking to Eventide, and I was like, I'm thinking this is a big giant thing. He's like, yeah, there's what do you say? It was 6 or 16.
Yeah,
it was small.
I think it was 6. I could be getting that wrong, but it was a small number of people. I was like, even the ones that seem like they're really big aren't necessarily really big.
Yeah. Well, they are in a very large building, but just only 6 people work there.
There are some companies that are big.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
PV was pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
Shure is a good size company.
Yeah.
Companies that make a lot of different.
Their employees have a handful of people.
Yes. I would imagine they do. The companies that make a lot of different things and do manufacturing, then if you're manufacturing your own stuff, then things. If you get more than a few products,
sure,
the company gets big, right? Just to manage all that, but. So yeah, I went out there and talked to a lot of companies and then got a call back from Shure and got a job right away out of college and
Nice.
got
Awesome.
married, had a kid, and started my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, in doing that, you didn't study how to like just build, regular kind of mics. It seems, as we've talked, you really have been focused in a few specific areas. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. In school you study everything, right? And I learned a lot about every part of it. But once you start at a big company, often you kind of get into a niche, right? And so I started around the time that wireless was really taking off for the company. And so I had an opportunity to start working on some wireless stuff. And then once you get good at that, then you keep working on the wireless stuff. And it turned into a pretty good business for the company. And so I spent a good part of my career just focusing on wireless and more like the high end stuff, the pro wireless, the stuff that's on rock and roll tours and broadcast studios and things like that. The good stuff, right?
Yes.
And it's only now that I'm a director and I have people working for me and it's now that I'm getting back into like doing regular microphones and things like that. Getting more exposure to the rest of the product line. But wireless was a big part of it for my life for a long time. And so the transition from analog to digital and, all of the issues with the FCC selling off spectrum and, all this kind of stuff keeps us busy.
Sure.
So it's a constantly changing landscape of, it's not a vintage wireless microphone is not something you really want, even if it's legal to operate. It's a part of audio that's like constantly changing and getting better and better, which is unique in the audio world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
When we were talking last at NAMM, I think that was last year. I think it was last year's.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started a conversation a little bit and said, "Hey, it'd be cool to talk about this, a little bit more on the show." But it's one thing to say, "Hey, these things are out here." Every year we see new advancements in technology, and I think starting a couple of years ago, it seemed as though the conversation about wireless, not only in mics but in signal, guitar signal, was becoming much more prominent in whether I'm talking about talking with people who listen to the show or musicians, or we're talking to guitar techs or whomever, and then going to the show and seeing like, wow, this is much more than I would have imagined, and that's also translating into the smaller people or the not pro people. In fact, my bass player, who also is in a band that basically does all exclusively everything's wireless. They play for hours doing like jukebox kind of like band at big clubs and stuff. And he was like, well, the first thing we got to do is get wireless systems. And the three of us looked at him and like, what? Because we go rock at clubs, and that's just not, it hasn't been part of the dialogue. But I'm talking to more and more people that actually are choosing to do that. Yeah. So I would love to get your perspective on why you think that is becoming more of a common thing for the smaller scale musician, and we'll start there.
Yeah. First, I'll say the sure employee in me would say encourage you to buy wireless.
Yes.
the sound guy in me says, avoid that. A cable is much more reliable and will almost always work and is easy to fix and replace and much less expensive. But there's a couple things that happened, especially related to guitar. One is the transition from analog to digital wireless. The technology and the chips available and stuff to do digital became a possibility, right? And at first, that was still pretty expensive. But there's a big sound quality difference when you go from analog to digital, especially for guitar. Analog is pretty straightforward and pretty easy to make, but it's not great for guitar, right? Because you have to compress your signal. There's all sorts of rules about, the translation of a signal into RF back to a signal again, and how much spectrum you can take up when you're doing that.
RF being radio frequencies.
Sorry, yeah. If I throw out lingo, just check me on it.
Yeah.
Okay. A series of letters we will now speak in.
So there's legal requirements for how much of the RF spectrum you can use up, and so one of the things you have to do is kind of squish your signal down to make that work. And so you use a compression, like a compressor, in the transmitter, and then use an expander, which is the opposite of a compressor, in the receiver to get the signal back to where it was. And it's really hard to do that without some kind of artifacts. And guitar signals are particularly difficult to make sound perfect through something like that. Mm-hmm. We got pretty good at it, but there was always this limitation with analog. And so when we went to digital, like, so much of that went away, and I actually started using wireless in my own guitar rig. Like, I was making analog, the high-end analog wireless for a long time, but I still wasn't using wireless in my own rig because I spend all day like listening to the artifacts. I don't want to come home and then like be listening to more wireless artifacts in my.
So, are you saying with the digital side of it, there's no need for the compression and expansion?
You still have compression, but it's digital compression, and it's not. It's more like, when you make an MP3 file, right, you're digitally compressing, right? But so the techniques are totally different, and there's a lot more tools in the toolbox for doing that kind of processing. When you do it analog, or when we did it analog with analog circuitry, you're limited to like how many parts you can put on the board, and trying to get the transmitter and the receiver to be perfectly aligned over time and temperature and part tolerances and all these kinds of things is a real bear. Mm-hmm. But with digital, you don't have to worry about temperature changes or alignments or part tolerances or any of that stuff. That just kind of goes away. And so the compression that's used for digital stuff is more of like an MP3 kind of a thing. We make our own because we want it to be super low latency. You can't just use MP3 encoding because that would add tons and tons of latency to the signal, and that's bad. So we develop our own.
Have you tried using the Pied Piper software for that?
No. I'm not familiar with that one.
Silicon Valley. Anyways, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's the reference. I missed it. Sorry. So we make our own digital codecs, we call them, which is encoder decoder software. And we spend a lot of time and effort trying to make those sound really good and keep them really low latency. And it requires people with lots of much higher math skills than I have to do that kind of stuff. Specialists, if you would.
So it sounds like part of the rise in the conversation is also aligning with a lot of people going fully digital, especially if they're touring around, even smaller bands, and not having the conversion issues to the degree that you would normally do with like all analog gear. Am I getting that right?
Nah. Yeah, I don't. Maybe that's part of it. I think conversion issues are kind of a thing of the past. Converters have gotten so good, and sample rate converters are really, really good now. And the stuff that we talked about in the '90s about converting and whatnot, you still pick up latencies and things like that, but it's all so much better than it used to be. Mm-hmm. I was going to say though that the other part of the accessibility of it was, what we make is very finely tuned, high end stuff for professional market, but people started coming out with kind of integrated chips that made it easy to do digital wireless. And so you could just, a company could go and buy, you can today, you can go and buy a chipset that does so much of the work for you, right? And that stuff is actually commodity priced and relatively cheap. So you start to see a lot more entry level kind of wireless stuff come out. We did one of our own called the GLXD system, which is 2.4 gigahertz, runs in the same spectrum as Wi-Fi. It's unlicensed spectrum, and it's the same everywhere around the world. So you can sell one product to everywhere, and it uses kind of more standard chipsets and things like that. We always put our own spin on it because we want to be able to be a step above. But we also saw, a lot of competition kind of in that area for kind of these low priced. And now you can go on Amazon and you can buy a wireless for your guitar for $100 if you want to take that gamble.
Yeah.
And it works pretty well. Right. I don't want to spend my time slagging on competitors or why you shouldn't buy this cheap stuff off Amazon, but I think we know why.
Yeah. For this cheap stuff.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It's all about reliability, right? With wireless, anytime you put something over the air, there's lots of bad things that can happen between your transmitter and your receiver that you can't see, you can't control. And high quality wireless is all about making sure that the signal gets there uninterrupted and without problems, right? But the sound quality these days is pretty good across the board on a lot of these things. Latency is another one that, is still something that matters a lot to people. But when you're playing guitar, a few milliseconds of latency is not that big a deal, right? Because you're not connected to the instrument the same way you are your own voice or a saxophone, right? Where you have bone conduction from the source right to your ears. And if you have latency in the system, when you hear that back especially through wireless ear monitors, that can be a real problem.
Sure.
Right. So the pro world, it's a lot about that latency and getting that down to, single digit milliseconds kind of thing.
Now, for people that are just playing in regular clubs and stuff and not on the massive stages where there's techs handling all this stuff, do you think that, well, I don't want to say do you think, because I guess it's just more of an open-ended question. Are there things that would be present in a club that would kind of prohibit a really effective use of this? Everybody's cell phone, how the club is wired,
neon lights,
anything.
Yep.
Fluorescent lights.
most definitely. And that's where we get into that licensed versus unlicensed, right? The unlicensed stuff that tends to be the lower cost stuff. It's running in the same spectrum as Wi-Fi. So if you have a lot of Wi-Fi on board, or you have somebody shows up with wireless DMX lighting controller, that stuff's all unlicensed, right? You can create pretty heavily trafficked spectrum without even really knowing it. And some things are better than others. Some things play nicer than others, but you don't know what's going to happen.
That's
right?
where you get the spinal effect thing. The spinal tap.
Spinal tap? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little less of that, or it's more of just it doesn't work now, right? I remember I did a gig a while back. Nowadays you put the console by the side of the stage and you take your tablet and you walk out in front of the speakers and you mix from the tablet and, isn't modern life wonderful? And the band had showed up with some, I think it was X-Vive was the brand, ear monitors, right? Like low cost, unlicensed ear monitors. And they fired those things up and we did the sound check and I walked out to the front of house and I had no Wi-Fi, right? Like
because they were sucking it all up.
They were, yeah. And that thing was just blasting across and like the gig's going. It's like, I don't have time to go and, figure out Wi-Fi issues right now. Mm-hmm. So, now I can't get 4 feet from the console, which is at the side of the stage. And so now I'm not mixing at the front of house. Right. Yeah. And I was like, hey, what was that wireless you were using? Cause I was having problems with the Wi-Fi. You're like, oh yeah, it totally takes out all the Wi-Fi.
I love it.
Maybe should have mentioned that.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that you've started incorporating wireless into your rig. What else do you have in your rig? Amps and guitars and such.
Well, wireless, we can start with that. I was using a GLXD for a long time, which is probably the most commonly available for, entry-level digital wireless. It's great. The receiver is pedal format. It's got a built-in tuner. The tuner in that is really good. That's what I was using before the turbo tuner. And my friend Chris did the development of that tuner. He did a great job on it. It's great. And that system is pretty good. It's got good long battery life and it works great, but it is unlicensed. So there's some pluses and minuses to that. The pluses are you just turn it on and it works. It's easy to set up. But then when it doesn't work, there's not a whole lot you can do. Right?
I believe the solution is a ball peen hammer.
Well, it's a guitar cable is what it is. The solution is a guitar cable.
Yeah, there you go. First the ball peen hammer, then the guitar cable.
Yeah. More recently, because I am who I am, I've been using an SLXD portable receiver, which is a portable receiver that we make for like camera mounts. People do like low budget video shoots and stuff like that. It's kind of a mid-tier or lower tier wireless system, but it's got this little portable receiver. Mm-hmm. And I just modified that for use on the pedal board, but that is a licensed frequency wireless. So it operates in the TV channels, TV bands. And there's a couple of benefits with that, right? It's licensed, so there's a lot less unexpected interference in that world. And at those frequencies, which are much, much lower than 2.4 gig, the way that the RF behaves in a space is a little bit more advantageous. So wireless microphones, professional wireless microphones have always kind of operated in the TV bands because it is the best frequencies. It's like the best trade-off between antenna size and propagation issues, how well it goes around things versus through things, right? You get to really high frequencies like Wi-Fi and stuff. It gets blocked by your body much more easily. It gets blocked by walls and things like that. It doesn't propagate as far as easily.
So don't go play in a maze. That's what you're telling me.
Well, sometimes people will take like this low cost, stuff. They'll take it outside and play a stadium, and it's like, whoa, careful, you don't get the kind of range performance that you would from a regular licensed wireless. Right.
Gotcha.
So I've been playing with that, and that's kind of the just for fun.
Yeah.
Right?
How about in terms of guitars and things? Are there any differences between, say a Strat or Les Paul or anything like that, or do they all play pretty well with the wireless
Strat
system?
has 3 pickups on it, Tony, and no, they all kind of play the same. How we design the front end of the transmitter packs. We do things specifically to make sure that it worked well with guitars. Guitars, you want to make sure that you impedance load them in an appropriate way. And that gets into things like, cable, the sound of your cables and things like that. One of the issues that I run into when testing wireless is, the wireless is brighter than my cable. It's like, yeah, well, that wireless has a short cable, and that regular cable you're using is really long. The guitar is going to sound different, right? The capacitance load on is different, especially if it's a passive guitar, right? And these are things that Jared could go on and on about.
How about with like shielding and things like that? I mean, is I'm assuming it's much like working with a cable. If you shield enough, you might eliminate some of the 60 cycle hum. Or
yeah, I mean, with wireless, the nice thing, there's one benefit of the wireless is that you are completely isolated, so you don't have a ground back to your amp. So if somebody wires the plugs wrong, you can't get shocked. There's that benefit, right?
The world famous blue arc to the microphone.
Exactly, right. That doesn't happen with wireless, which is nice. But this is interesting too. One of the things that happened when we switched from analog to digital wireless, this is okay. Stop me when this gets boring, but. The analog wireless is FM modulated, meaning it changes the frequency of the carrier that you're transmitting, but not the amplitude. And when you go to digital, you are modulating both the frequency and the amplitude. And so you have it's a combination of AM and FM to keep things simple, right? To detect AM is much, much easier than to detect FM. So an AM detector requires very, very little. You can make one out of, 2 pieces of dissimilar metal, right? The classic Lucille Ball picking up AM radio in her tooth filling, right? That kind of thing. So guitars and vintage electronics are much more sensitive to AM interference. So one of the things we learned when we came out with our first digital stuff was some of these old guitars and these old guitars with preamps and acoustic guitars that had old preamps in them are actually susceptible now to the transmitter, which is transmitting digital. And so that's been something that yeah.
I got you.
It's one thing to say, yeah, my guitar's picking up my phone. Well, don't bring your phone on stage with you, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to get away from the digital wireless transmitter pack that's on the strap that you need to do the thing. Most passive guitars are fine. Some active guitars have had some issues, but over the years, I've had various interactions with guitar makers and pickup manufacturers, acoustic guitar companies and makers of electronics that go into guitars to help them. I would go to the trade shows and just go around and say, hey, are you having any issues? Have you seen anything with this? Sorry about that. It's the way the industry's going. There's nothing we can really do about it, but I can help you make your products more robust. And so I've done that for a number of companies, just as
That's cool.
it's kind of a a corporate goodwill kind of thing, because our industry moved into this technology that was actually causing problems with other people in the industry. So I won't name any names or anything like that, but there's a number of companies that helped make their products more robust for that kind of thing.
Nice.
And so that's something to just be aware of in the back of your head. If you have a vintage active pickup in a guitar, your digital wireless might cause some problems.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a very specific scenario.
It is. Yes. It's not so widespread that it's a big problem, but it does come up from time to time.
I see. So what does the gear situation beyond, we'll move away from wireless. I think I appreciate you covering so much of that. It is helpful to understand, because how many hours you got? I could keep going. Well, for the layperson who doesn't do all that, when you're looking at it, to a degree, it's not unlike people who are who don't have to deal with AI in their work or in their life, but they're hearing tons about it, and then you're sort of like, what am I supposed to know this or not? So I think a certain aspect
and
of
wireless
is
something like when you decide to go wireless, there's things you have to learn. You have to learn how to operate it properly, right? And it's as much as we'd love to make a product that just had a big easy button on it. The reality of it is that's nearly impossible.
Yeah,
you have to understand antennas, right? If you cut your antenna off and then wonder why it doesn't work, where do you put your antennas, and how do you get the best performance out of this system? We try to build in as much margin as possible, right? And that's a lot of why I think we are successful, because we make the product as robust as possible. We try to put as much margin for success in there as possible, so that when people set them up and operate them in non-ideal ways, it still works. And I've been on very large visits to very large customers, big name tours and things, and seen things that make my eye twitch. I couldn't imagine. They're like, it works great. I'm like, well, okay,
yeah.
what you're doing. You might not want to do that, but no, it works fine. Like, yeah, okay. But there's so many aspects to that, or so many things about how you run your cables and where you put your antennas, and how you set up when you're running multiple channels of wireless. You have to coordinate the frequencies so that they don't interact with each other in bad ways, and you start creating interferences on yourself. So there's software to set that up, and things. It can get a little tricky. Yeah. And these days, you have to know when you go from one city to the next, because we're operating in the TV spectrum. TV channels are different in different cities, right? So you go from Chicago to LA to Columbus, right?
Yes.
There's different TV channels on the air.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened not that long ago is some of the lower end TV channels also got allocated for public safety. And so you got to know about that.
Right.
And so that's one area where usually if there's a TV channel on the air, you turn your thing on and it's like, I'm getting a bunch of signal on my receiver and I don't even have my transmitter turned on. It's like, maybe you're on top of a TV channel. But if you're on top of public safety, you don't know until an ambulance drives by and fires up their radio.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
The true Spinal Tap
Yeah,
moment.
that's exactly what.
And also, you're obligated to know that that's there, and you shouldn't operate on top of that for public safety reasons, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the reason that it's not likely that your wireless guitar rig is going to interfere with the ambulance outside. They're running much higher power and things like that, but we're not supposed to play in that. Operate in those frequencies that are reserved for that stuff.
Play nice, rockers.
You got to, right. And so you got to look on the website and, look at the software and figure out, depending on where you are, what frequencies you should be using. If you are touring internationally, every country has different regulations about, we call the license spectrum, right? So what frequencies are available and what ranges of frequencies are available changes in different countries. And so, it can get pretty complicated for like a world tour, right?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of times they, rent that equipment and they hire professionals to set it up and operate it. So, yeah, that's
Okay.
Am I making it sound really enticing to like you really want to go buy a wireless now, right?
Well, I think if nothing else, it gives us some insight into, what our bigger acts kind of dealing with. And as that trickles down, maybe not to be wooed so easily into the thing you plug into your guitar jack. I've had a couple of friends I've watched play where that has gone completely wrong, and then they don't know where to look to fix the problem because I'm plugged in, but I'm not plugged in, but So anyways, as a guitar gear enthusiast, one thing that I would like to know is what are you thinking about as you consider gear, as you're looking, on Instagram and seeing things.
As I consider gear?
Well, just as a fellow guitar enthusiast, I know that when I'm looking through things, you start to see patterns or trends, or you start to sniff out like, geez, why is everybody doing bluesbreaker stuff right now? Or boy, we just saw a lot of amp people like say they're closing shop. Like, we're starting a new year. I'm just curious to get your impression on, like, what do you think about the landscape right now?
Well, I have some strong thoughts on these topics.
Okay.
I've worked in technology, in the pro audio world for a long time, but it's, personally, in a way, has made me more of a Luddite when it comes to gear. And I always tell people, if I'm buying a piece of audio equipment, I want to be able to give it to my grandkids, right?
Okay.
And I've bought,
you mean in like 20 or 30 or 50 years?
Well, it's getting closer and closer. But when I think about that, like when I buy, if I buy a microphone, I want something that's, well built, and then, the ecologist in me or the environmentalist in me is thinking about, is this thing worth the materials that were taken out of the earth to create, right? Is this thing going to last? Is it going to stick around? Is it an artifact? Right. And I've got doorstop amplifiers today that I bought because it was the cool new thing with the modeling and the Wi-Fi and the phone apps. And now it's like, well, if I find an old phone with an old version of Android, I can maybe get to those features that you can't touch from the front panel, right?
Sure,
and now this thing is completely wasted
obsolete
because this, it's perfectly good hardware, but the software is not supported anymore and things like that. So I always go back to, I've got sitting right here in my room, a mid-70s Vibro Champ, which is my practice amp. And below that is a mid-70s Princeton Reverb. And downstairs I have a 68 Deluxe Reverb. So it's kind of the little Fender family.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So to me, that those amps, you can always fix them, right? They can last forever. They've lasted this long, and they'll keep going. So, there's that part of me that's kind of more the, maybe I'm building race cars at work, but when I get home and I want to wrench on an old muscle car or something with a 350 Chevy and no fuel injectors or no ECUs and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Do you know about cars? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
get the car analogies.
Yeah. Of course. Yes. So, industry wise, like, I mean, you're in the industry, but you're also a consumer. You're also a player on the smaller stages of life. So,
yeah.
How are you?
Definitely
feeling about
small
that?
stages I play. Yes. Yeah. To me, it's that, I try to keep things simple, and I find, like, I've got the Line 6 stuff and all that. And I, it's like the pendulum swings back and forth between, I'll get really into that stuff, and then I get frustrated because it's just overly complicated and I don't spend any time practicing because I'm just tweaking knobs. And then I go back to, like, okay, what's the smallest pedal board I can make to get through the day?
Yeah.
How simple can I make this stuff? And I always say, like, if I probably wouldn't be using wireless if I didn't do that for a living. Right.
Sure.
Trying to keep things, and it's that sound guy part of me too, right? Which is, I always tell people, like, being a sound guy is all about planning for things that can go wrong, and having a backup plan, and trying to keep things simple and straightforward so that you minimize the number of breakages, the number of, reduce the amount of failure points, and, that kind of thinking is big for me.
Yeah.
Right. So
we're going to access the Luddite in you a little bit more.
Sure.
Tony, go ahead.
What kind of guitars are you playing?
Right now I have next to me my first Les Paul that I bought this year, because I'm officially like a blues lawyer now. I've made enough money that I could buy. It's a 68 gold top that I bought from a one owner gold top. It was refinished, so I didn't pay huge money for it. Because in the 70s, apparently it wasn't cool to have a gold top. So this guy had it stripped off. And then in the 90s, he realized that was a bad idea. And he had Tom Murphy redo the finish back then. So it has some provenance, right? It's a Tom Murphy finish, but not back in the 90s. So it's a good refin, and it's never had a headstock break.
Worth more as a result. So
maybe
in ruining the guitar, he actually made the guitar more valuable.
There you go.
I don't think so.
No?
Original finish versus 90s Tom Murphy refin. I think the original finish is worth more.
Depending on who you're talking to, that's if you're able to say, well, in the sea of this year and this model that are all almost identical,
sure,
this one has been refinished by Tom Murphy.
Yes, if you compare it to another refinished gold top from 68, maybe yes.
Okay,
but compared to the stock 68s that I've seen for sale, I paid way less than what I've seen.
Yeah, which are kind of roaming around the 20,000 median.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay that much for a guitar.
Yeah.
So I've got that one.
But it's not one without the Tom Murphy.
Yeah,
finish.
It's been aged by Tom Murphy, man.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't have any paperwork on that, so that's all. That's also
maybe it was just a guy in a garage named Tom Murphy.
Could be. Is there another Tom Murphy in Nashville that was refinishing guitars in the 90s?
You used Murphy's oil soap.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is that your main guitar now?
Sure. Yeah. I have a lot. They're like shoes, Todd. depends on what pants you're wearing.
I hear you.
I've got this one, and then I've got a Grez Mendocino that I've been playing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome. I highly recommend checking out the Grez guitars. And you've had them on the show, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, Barry's awesome. Those guitars are great.
He actually sent that guitar out for us to check out. After I connected it with Wire and Volt. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he'll be there again this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So I've got that, the Mendocino, and then I've got a couple of like parts casters that I built. And so I've kind of always been a telly guy, if you will.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the stable right now.
When you said parts casters and telly guy, I'm assuming that you are making them just like kind of like, I'm going to make this how I want it, not necessarily mimicking, doing all the fun stuff too.
Well, the first one I'm looking at two of them now. The first one I built was an experiment in how good of a guitar can I make with the cheapest parts I can find. So it was like, a $30 guitar fish body, and I found a neck for $100, and somebody gave me the pickups, and I built it, and then I was like, oh, this just needs a lot of work, right? So it needed a lot of attention to, but in the end, it's a great guitar. And then the second one I built, I went the other way, and I said, I'm going to get like some really nice Warmoth parts, like get the quarter sawn roasted maple neck with the stainless steel frets, and that one I also put a B bender in, and did a lot of work on that, and that's also a great guitar. But those are just both experiments in building something that I want. They're pretty standard Telecasters otherwise, though. I really like Tellies, and I like the Telly bridge, and I like the Telly neck pickup, and I usually put like a 5-way switch and some various little electronic experiments in there.
Are you particular about the color? Are you like, I only like the natural, or I only like black, or blah, 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 blah?
As long as it's a color. I don't like natural guitars, and I don't like highly figured finished guitars. So I tend to like painted colored guitars. So one is like surf green. The other Telly is like a sparkle orange with a cream binding.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. And then, so most of my guitars are painted. The Grez is not. The Grez has, what do they call that? Sashugiban?
Yeah, the
burnt finish. Yeah. So I asked Barry when I got that, like, hey, have you ever done that? And he's like, nope. So I was like, well, try it out. And so it was kind of it was a little play on, burnt forests and all that kind of thing. But so the redwood top is scorched. So it's a really dark color. And then he did like a French polish on top of that. So that's got some wood grain vibe to it. And I've seen he's done a few more of those. He's getting better at it. The last one I saw was like, oh, he's getting really, he's got the technique down now, and he's getting some really nice deep blacks.
Nice.
So
very cool. Well, John, it has been awesome learning about wireless stuff, and your love of tellies and all the good stuff. It's always fun to hear what people are playing right now.
We didn't get to talk about the fart pedal. We didn't get to talk about.
Well, wait.
I built that a while ago.
Yeah. That's still, man, that still pops up all over the place. Give us a little. I know a lot of people have heard about the fart pedal. Tell us a little bit about the fart pedal.
How much more time do we got? There's a guy at work, Steve Gadlin, who was the idea man behind it. He's just a wacky dude, part-time comedian and unabashed troll. And he came into my office one day and he said, hey, can we make a guitar pedal that does this? And I said, why would you want that? He's like, because it would be funny. I was like, well, okay. Yeah, let's do it. So, I said, what do you want? He's like, it doesn't matter what you play. I just want it like anything that you play, it just makes farts come out. Like, okay, that we can do that. So built a prototype, and he fired up a Kickstarter, and we're like, hey, maybe this will work. Maybe we'll make a few. It'll be fun, right? And then the Kickstarter kind of went wild, and we're like, oh crap, now we got to make a bunch of these. So we did, and then he did all of the the marketing side of that stuff, and went out and hooked up with Ola England and folks like that, and got the Instagram press and the YouTube press on it, and it was a lot of fun. It was taking the piss out of the boutique pedal market, if you will, and just doing something fun and silly.
Yeah.
And since then, he's gone on number 2, as he calls it, is now available. And that one actually does like synthesizer stuff. And that one I told him, like, I'm not your guy. You should go find somebody that already has a DSP platform pedal that they can build, this on top of, because for us to develop the whole digital underbelly of the electronics just to do a fart pedal is not economical. So he found somebody that was also doing, there's all these companies that make pedals for people and things like that. And so he found somebody that had a DSP platform that, and they were into putting farts on top of it. So fart pedal number 2 is out, and that one actually does. It's like sample based. It's not synthesized farts, but it's samples that are modified depending on your signal. So it does some like pitch tracking and envelope tracking and things like that too. So you can kind of play the farts, and that's kind of fun. So you play in low note, you get a lower note, and if you play up high, you can kind of get some little. Yep, squeakers.
And then you have the
every time you pull one out, everybody laughs, and then
yeah.
Except that one person that doesn't think farts are funny.
But wait,
you can't trust that person.
Yeah, I was just going to say you can't trust anybody that doesn't think a fart is funny. Then you did the mono neon version.
Yeah, that was a whole thing too. Like he was a big supporter of the pedal, and actually wrote a song that featured it. And like when he was touring, he had it like he was actually on stage with the fart pedal. It was his pedal board was a fart pedal and a whammy, Digitech whammy. And he did a whole song about how he loves the way his lady smells when she doesn't take a shower, and it was just kind of some gross humor song.
Yeah.
And
because she's athletic.
Yeah, sure.
So you are not. So are you still making those? Or it sounds like
no.
Okay.
I built the prototypes of the first one and kind of helped him launch that stuff. And then I said, I'm not making these in my basement. We're going to go find a manufacturer to manufacture these things.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you give up a lot of your margin, so you don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The people who build the pedal take a good cut and what have you. But I made a small amount. I bought a nice couch.
Yeah. Interesting.
And Steve's still doing it. He's more committed to the bit than I am, and he's a great, fun dude. He was also working on a taco stand for drummers. That was like a drum hardware mount taco stand at one point, and he's got all sorts of great ideas.
Yeah, wild. Well, I'm glad we got to work that in because I got the Tubbo Tasty Beans can right here. That's where we have our pins and stuff.
We did send you one, didn't we?
On the table. Tony's going to guide us through the next portal of psychedelia.
Existence.
Yes. Go ahead, Tony.
That's right, Todd, because
Would you rather?
at this point of the show, there's a little game we play called Would You Rather?
Yes.
I've heard of this.
Yes, I'm sure you have. Today's Would You Rather is brought to us by our friend James Castellano.
Yes.
And James says he wants to introduce a new guitar villain.
Okay.
This villain's name is the Eliminator.
Yes.
And the Eliminator is, as appropriately named, has eliminated all guitars, pedals, and amps, except he has a slight bit of a affection for the blues and made a couple of exceptions.
Okay.
And he also hates expensive guitars and amps and detests pedals of all makes, except for a handful of them. So, today's Would You Rather, it's actually a two-part. You have to pick two. The two guitars that he saved are, one, a Korean-built Epiphone BB King Lucille with the dual jacks and the six-way tone switch, just to make things a little more complicated. The other guitar is the PRS David Grissom SE Exotic Laurel Burl McCarty. And
That's one heck of a...
there's a lot of things going on there. So that one
What is that called one more time? The David Grissom.
David Grissom PRS SE.
That's not a cheap guitar.
SE.
No, I think it's
With the burl?
with the
Okay.
Laurel Burl. So it's got a pretty figured top. I mean, it's nice. And these, what's that, about $1,000 or so?
Yeah.
You used $600-700.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the amp side, you can choose from one of these two. It's a 50-watt Fender Mustang amp with the 200-ish presets. Or the other is a Crate G40C. You remember the old Crate G40Cs? That comes with a Tonex 1 modeling pedal. So you can get all your extra little fun stuff. So yeah, that's the basic crate. Not the it's not the wooden box crate.
No,
which
but I had one of those.
yeah, everybody had a crate. So you get to pick one guitar and one amp.
So you can mix and match, and they're not tied to each other?
They're not tied to each other. You pick one and one.
Okay.
Would you rather have the BB King Lucille or the PRS SE
Yes.
McCarty?
Yes.
Or, and for the amp side, would you rather have the 50-watt Fender Mustang amp or the Crate G40C with Tonex 1 modeling pedal?
Okay. Well, Tony, go ahead.
All right. As I've often said, I have an issue with the PRS headstock. And it just, the pointiness looks out of place.
I can't see you playing a PRS. I cannot imagine.
You might as well throw a Parker Fly in my hands.
Well, I could see that. in Burl.
Yes, in Burl. Just on the fretboard.
Yes.
So I'm going to, for the guitar, I'm taking the BB King Lucille because even though it's got a few extra bells and whistles, I could play that guitar all day long.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Does it only have one string?
No, it has all the strings. James did go on to say that once you choose, this is your setup for life.
For life, yeah.
You see.
Okay.
So I'm going with the BB King, and I mean, those great amps sounded like poo.
Yeah.
They sounded like a fart pedal. I'm gonna do the 50-watt Fender Mustang with all the presets.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I think so.
I had a 112.
Yeah, this is a 1x12. The 50-watt should be a 1x12 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
the Crate is also a 112.
I believe.
No,
scenario?
it is a 2. It's a 212.
Is it a 2?
2 10-inch.
2 10s.
210.
210s.
Even
Okay.
better. So that's my rig. My forever rig is the BB King Lucille by Epiphone and the 50-watt Fender Mustang amplifier.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
How about yourself, John?
Well, those two guitars are both pretty solid. I do not have a problem with the headstock on PRS, but I do not love figured guitars really, and I'm not a huge fan of the voicing on PRS. They always they have a mid-range, like a lower mid-range thing that just never really felt great to me. So I would go with the Lucille.
Yay.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
How about the amp?
Amp wise, I've never played a crate that I didn't hate.
I love it.
Fair play.
And so I would have to go with that Mustang too. As long as it's got a 12-inch speaker and it's got some kind of decent preamp tone.
Yeah, I think that's it's for me. That's the better of the two choices.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I'm going to mimic what you're doing. I'm going with the BB King, Lucille, and the
Is it unanimous?
Yeah, and the
Unanimous?
This is unheard of.
I know.
Unheard of. Unprecedented.
It is unprecedented.
Wow.
But, when you're taking the lesser of four evils,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the other ones are, the guitars are evil or anything, but it's just a turn of phrase. Everybody relax.
I understand. I'm getting a
Crate
little worked up.
is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Except for the old ones that had the actual wood boxes.
Yeah. I
Were those
almost
better?
went with the crate just for
No, but they look
nostalgic
cooler.
sake, though.
They
I
don't sound
played with
any
a guy
better.
Yeah.
I played with a guy in college that had a crate that had 2 8-inch speakers,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
which was the worst
That'd
crate.
be like playing through a car stereo,
It was I don't know what that thing was.
like just with the little
It was-
door speakers.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, it was bad.
I mean, there was one of the music arounds here in town. There was an actual a stack there, so it had the combo and then an extension cabinet, both in the wood framed stuff.
Yeah.
I should have bought that. Just
With 8-inch speakers?
I'm guessing probably.
Wow.
I don't even know anymore what was in those things.
That's silly.
Yeah, those were silly amplifiers.
Silly amps. Well, thank you, James Castellano, for sending that along. We had a good
Yes.
time with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got us to have a break from Tony's anyways.
Yeah, thank God.
If that spurred any ideas for you, please send them our way. And by the way, Tony, I had a zinger of an idea
Did
as
you?
I was, all good things come to your brain in the shower. And I was like, oh, and then I got out and I had to deal with life and I forgot to write it down. But maybe it'll come back to me.
Yeah, take another shower.
I'm planning on it. I haven't scheduled this week. Yes.
Whether you need it or not.
Yes. Because I'm athletic.
Yeah, I
So-
understand.
Anyhow, we're going to thank a few people, and then we will bid adieu to our friend John.
That's right, Todd. At this point of the show, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Head over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs and check out a couple different levels in which you can become a sponsor. It's very easy, Todd. You head over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs and check out a couple different levels in which you can participate and become a sponsor of a friend, a hero of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win special prizes. We have some giveaways coming, don't we?
Indeed we do.
Yeah, that's right. And in addition to that, I'm told there is one thing more.
You get to have your name read on the thing.
You get to have your name read on the thing, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pappas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, some guy named Jon Halverson.
Hey.
Yeah. Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Pluton. Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, Vader and Pedals, Caribou Gone, and Ed Rossler.
Yes.
But wait, Todd, there's more.
Okay.
There's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to this here podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Anthony Jamalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Branded Wound Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, Ty Barnes, James Castellano, and Kenny Howes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to say a ginormous thank you to Jon Halverson for swinging by today and having a good time talking about guitar gear, learning about some wireless stuff.
Wireless.
That was a new
Wireless are us.
Yeah. So yes, and also John, thank you again for supporting the show and being part of our guitar world.
Lord's work. You're doing the Lord's work. Have fun at NAMM.
Will we see you there?
No, I won't be there this year. I sent a couple of my direct reports. Tim Nowak being one of them.
Oh, great.
Rick Audio. So he will be out there, and you should be able to hook up with him.
Outstanding. We'll do that.
Say hi.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Where can do you want to direct anybody to see any of the things that you're making on the side?
No.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Okay.
And if you have questions about Shure wireless stuff, our applications group is awesome, and you can just call them, and somebody that I probably know will answer the phone. And those guys do a lot of good work, and they know a lot about this stuff, and they are used to answering these questions in a way that people can understand them.
Awesome. All right, Tony.
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make custom pick guards for guitars. How do you get one? You shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're trying to do, what material you want, all the good stuff. I'll make something special for you. As Todd likes to say, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
That is correct, Amundo. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram. That's the best place to contact me /us. And we'd love to hear from you. Tell us what you got for Christmas, get gear-wise, and whatever else you want to talk about. We would love to connect with you, as we do often on that platform specifically. And other than that, have a fantastic guitar week, if not year. Yeah. This we get to do that. Have a freaking fantastic guitar year, everybody. Subscribe!
Happy New Year!
And this year, I was very excited because I fixed the furnace like the week before. The furnace was acting up, and I was like, crap. And I went and I fixed it myself. I was feeling very proud. My wife's like, you could buy like a new guitar. And I was like, yeah.
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 And you live on a weird hill.
It's not really. It's just high. I mean,
well, that's what a hill is.
We had our fish run away, like our pond fish in our backyard. They ran away. It was that kind of bad.
Wait,
wow.
what? They ran away?
Well, swam away.
Okay, good. Come on, Tom.
Almost
we got to leg
deep.
it. 2006 vintage patch cables.
2006?
2026. Damn it.
You've lost 20 years.
I have.
In the span of 10 minutes.
We'd occasionally get a raccoon that would go back there and wash his food in the pond. That was
a
sophisticated
raccoon.
Yeah. Well, they all do that, right? They wash their food.
They have hands.
The raccoon thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know they washed their food.
The dumb thing is they take it out of the trash. It's
well,
not-
that's
it's-
just it. I mean, every
don't
time
get
I
dirty food.
yeah, they're
Raccoon.
they're going in there eating gross chicken bones and stuff.
Look at how sophisticated I am. I wash my foods.
Yep.
got the coffee grounds off.
Yeah. That's next to a diaper. I wash the foods.
It's good, perfectly good.
That one was in the diaper. It's okay.
It's washed.
It sounds like you're manipulating a microphone stand or you are actually
What was I just doing?
fixing a toilet. One of those two things. So,
Oh, what about?
hang on.
Oh,
Hang on. Maybe for lack of better terms, of remote mics and remote gear. Say that better than I did, John.
Wireless?
Yeah. I knew you could do it.
Wow,
Get my kids
Todd.
through college.
What?
I'm running out of memory on my thing.
Oh, he's running out of memory on
I
this
just looked
thing.
at my card and I'm like, oh no. Okay, wait.
I
Okay.
talk too much. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. It's Tony. Go, Tony. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.